Okay, hey, we're going to turn an episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today I have a really cool review for you guys from the brand Forstner. Originally founded as the Forstner Chain Corporation in about 1920 by William Forstner in New Jersey. It's in its early years, the company really made ornamental jewelry as well as watch bracelets. Now, of course, they're producing some really amazing kind of retro reissues of some really very nice period correct vintage classics, but up-spec'd with some of the more modern niceties and build quality you would expect from a premium product today. Now, in terms of the piece we're looking at, of course, this is arguably the precursor to the oyster bracelets. The uniform 3-link rivet bracelet with a straight end piece is definitely one of their favorites in terms of historical watch bands. Originally made by a distinguished bracelet manufacturer in the mid-20th century, the bracelet had a ton of old school charm with its all elastic link construction. Sadly, however, the bracelet was discontinued long ago, and the vintage versions have become, exceedingly rare and expensive. So, honoring the beautiful vintage design, Forstner has created its own take on the classic rivet bracelets. This is their rivet, and this is the solid link in 20 millimeter. This goes for $132 direct from the brand, and this is a really nice one, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. I do have it paired to, of course, the classic Zodiac Skin Diver 53 here, and I think it really suits, of course, that aesthetic. So when you're looking for a beautiful reissue bracelet to pair with your beautiful reissue watch, I think it is always nice to find those special combinations. So with that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. Okay guys, so Forstner do currently offer their present rivet bracelet in 2 different configurations. The one I have here is the solid link construction, but it is also available in all elastic or stretchy links. Both versions of the rivet bracelet have the same essential design, made of brushed stainless steel. Of course, the bracelet links have an 18 millimeter central link portion with approximately 2.5 millimeter thick links. And then you do get manual micro adjust here on the clasp. But one of the really cool features, of course, even if you do get the non-stretch link like this one, the solid link, which was what Forstner recommended for me, so big shout out to Forstner for sending in this review unit, is that you still get that stretch link down in terms of where it's going to meet the bracelet, so that you can absolutely just dial in a wonderfully versatile fit as well as, a tuned fit, which is great because when your wrist swells or when you flex your wrist, you're going to be able to get just a nice extra amount of give there, which for me, guys, really, really cool and kind of worth the trade-off in terms of, okay, pressed clasp, I know, which can be a bit of a kind of naughty thing for those of you within the watch community, but again, this is very period specific and very period correct, so it's one of those things you can't be too mad at. Hopefully they do offer some updates and just other options for those of you that might be looking for something that's going to feel a little bit more modern and more robust while still retaining that really beautiful turn of the century aesthetic, which I think looks really great and works, of course, on this classic Zodiac Skin Diver. So really, really nice from that perspective. And it actually comes with, of course, a very cool packaging here. You guys can see little magnetic snap enclosure. You're getting two screwdrivers because both ends here are going to be, in terms of what's sizable, are going to actually have, let's get it there, screw end on one side, screw end on the other side. So that is going to be adding a little extra layer of complexity in terms of resizing. The nice thing is you really just have to size it once. So once that's done, it's out of the way. And one thing that you would be able to avoid if you did decide to go with the other option, which would be the all stretch link, then you'd be really just kind of focusing on the micro adjust based off of the clasp setting to find what's going to fit your wrist best, versus here it gives you the kind of options to dismantle a couple of links out and remove them to really dial in the fit. So that worked for me, and that's kind of what they recommended for somebody with my larger wrist size. So this is available in a couple of different options in terms of this end link here. Since this is an 18 millimeter width, you can get this piece here. Essentially, is going to be what you can option out, which is going to be you can get an 18, 19, 20, 21, or 22. Typically the wider the lug, the wider the watch. So that is something to keep in mind, that this will be a non-tapering 18. Again, I think it looks fantastic. And as far as that true riveted style construction, having a non-taper is going to be what enables it to actually be this way, versus a faux rivet where it's just going to look like it, and it's going to kind of have each piece having just an extra little ornament on the side here. These are not ornamental, these are functionally constructed, which I really, really like. So with that said, let's actually get it on the wrist and see how it wears. Okay guys, check that out. Really, really handsome on the wrist. And although these links aren't especially short or especially, tapering or anything like that, they are quite thin, and they do have a nice little feeling of heft to them, because this is the solid link variation. So it is going to feel a bit heftier and more substantial by comparison to the full elastic link, which some might find, in terms of the feeling, because the construction is going to be more hollow. Unfortunately, our brains kind of, same thing with quartz versus mechanical movements, right? That little extra feeling of weight just kind of equates to quality. So, for me with my larger 7.5-inch wrist, as you can see, it is a little bit more on the round side. So it's not like it's flat and wide and everything's going to lay out really well. You can see, I really like the way this just channels that vintage aesthetic from this particular little skin diver from Zodiac. It just looks great, guys. I dig it. And again, it just adds that little touch of authenticity. And of course, as a watch enthusiast, it's nice to put a pairing together that really just, it's not something that you're going to accidentally see, right? This isn't something that you're going to buy at, your local department store and throw it on your watch. This is definitely more of a deliberate purchase and buy, and a nod to that heritage, to that lineage, to horology in general, to where you're just going to, you're saying a little bit more when you do a pairing like this, right? It just, again, tips the hat to those who kind of are within that watch idiot savant space. So I really do dig that a whole lot. But let's actually maybe open up the frame a bit so we can just get a little bit more movement. Very, very nice. And again, the stamped construction on the clasp isn't an issue. And now, with as much as I want to move my wrist around, the nice thing is with that elastic link, you're going to be able to absolutely have that extra articulation. We can pop it off, and then again, just get back to that little demo. Check this out. Boom. I just love that. And it's all you need. All you need is that one. Because look at how many extra millimeters you're going to get on the fly. Not even on the fly, toolless. But I mean, you don't even have to adjust it. It's spring loaded. So it's going to stretch and just maintain. So I know a lot of times it's nice to have about that extra finger width of give in your straps, just so that when you are flexing your wrist, as it expands and flexes, of course, changes its shape, it's going to give you just that little extra. So it enables you to wear the watch maybe a little bit tighter, a little bit more secure than you normally would, because you're going to have that extra bit of comfort there. And the resistance on that is actually really, really fine-tuned. It feels like it's holding enough to where it's going to absolutely spring back in time and just hold it on your wrist without pinching your wrist if you do decide to wear it on a bit of a tighter setting. You can see nicely signed here, all satinized. very period correct. And, you know, that's kind of the word of the day or the term of the day for this particular review. Guys, I think this looks fantastic, but, you know, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I know some of you, probably like me, have been, you know, trying to figure out which one is going to be the right fit, especially for something that costs $132. And yeah, this one is really meant to fit anywhere between 6 to 8 inches of wrist circumference in the solid setting. And, you know, thankfully you do get quite a bit of micro adjust here. You also get a little bit of play there for when you do have it dialed in. And then, of course, these links, you can absolutely take out as many as you need. And then, of course, you can even recenter how you want the clasp to lay underneath your wrist by, you know, if you need to take some links from this end and put it on that end. I do, particularly just because of the shape of my wrist, I do like to have it slightly offset. Of course, this section can be nice and centered, but I always want to offset the clasp to be closer to that 6 o'clock side of the watch. And for me, that just leads to more comfort and helping in terms of where the alignment underneath the watch feels just as nice as the alignment on top. So very, very cool, guys. I'm digging this one, but let me know what you all think down in the comments below. If you like the video, please do a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys. Thank you.